This episode was recorded a while back before we started actually doing the It's Been 2 Weeks podcast. At the time, I didn't know what I was going to call it. And my ideas of the podcast was to have interviews of people and simply post them as they are. And this interview happens to be the first interview that I did of John. I hope you enjoy it. Is true. So, hi, my name is Will, and I don't have a name for this podcast yet. I don't think I will. I don't know if I would edit this to fucking like what the fucking
insert title
here kind of thing. But yeah. So I have basically this podcast is just me talking to people and stuff like that. And today we are talking to John, who is a friend and a podcast co-host, I guess you could say. Another show. John, say hello.
Hello. I don't know why I waved when you said
I know,
my name
you're
the
like
first
waving
time.
to me like as if we have a camera here watching and shit.
Well.
This episode would be a little bit more centered on you. It's not to say that we're like we have to mainly focus on you, basically. But just for anybody who probably doesn't know about you or anything of that sort, give out like a brief description or like an introduction of who you are or whatever you feel comfortable sharing, because I mean this is the internet. So
I mean, as a whole, like who I am, like relatively, like I'm like no one, there's nothing. Like I'm just a dude that just lives in LA and goes to work and then comes home. Like there's nothing. I don't do anything spectacular. You just set me up to fail right off the bat. Thanks, Will. Thanks. Yeah,
I mean, that's what it is, right? Because I mean, like we're like
at most, okay, we host another podcast, but that's about it. But I wouldn't even count that. Like, I'm not even
like to be fair though, like I'm a nobody.
We're all nobodies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like it's like, but I mean, that's like one way or another. Like, sure, we're nobodies. We have no fucking like no notoriety or anything of that sort, but that's kind of the point. I want people to like get to know nobodies, and if that makes sense, so like basically just in the same way that like when people get interviewed in the news or something like that, but not to that extent, obviously. So I met John through Benji at Benji's birthday party.
Yes.
In what was it,
20 had to have been 2018, 19,
17 or 18, I think.
One of those. Yeah, it's somewhere around there.
Because
it was before COVID for sure.
Yeah. You know what? It might have been 2018 now that I think about it, because I don't even think I had the full year working where I was working at where I met Benji when he told me to like to when he invited me to his birthday thing. We went to, what was that place called?
Scum and Villainy.
Scum and Villainy
out in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's where I met John, basically. Like we were just slamming some fucking drinks in the bar with Benji, and that's how it happened.
We're the two, not outcasts from Benji's friends group that was there, but we're the only ones that kind of showed up like solo.
Yeah.
So we had no one else really to talk to, and so we just started talking to each other.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it just
I mean, no shame on. I'm not trying to shit on Benji or anything of that sort, but like he had a
full house.
He had a full house.
Yeah, he had shit to do.
He fucking took over that fucking bar, dude.
Yeah, he had shit to do.
Yeah, and so then like he was going out and about, just like talking to the people that came over to fuck as he should. I mean, it was his thing. And so then me and John was just like there talking, and my sister's right next to me too. And I feel like my sister was just kind of like, this is fucking boring.
There was times when I would like see her or like really notice her, I'd like feel bad because she's not saying anything.
Yeah, she's like,
you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I felt bad.
But we
weren't excluding her.
No,
she was just
very fucking quiet. And I mean, like, that's fair. She's in a situation where she doesn't know anybody or anything of that sort. So that makes sense. But like my sister has always been that kind of person where she's just kind of like just chilling, just enjoying the vibe and just being like, in the space and just watching basically. That's what she ends up doing. But yeah, that was basically how we met. And later on, fucking Benji's like, hey, I want to do a podcast. This is fucking COVID happening and shit. He's like, I want to do a podcast and I want you and John to do it. I'm like, okay, cool.
I remember when he told me about it too. I'm like, all right, for sure, we'll do it. And then I was like, for me, I was thinking like, yeah, it's gonna get me out of the house. I honestly didn't think we were gonna record. I thought we were just gonna get drunk,
Yeah.
and then not do anything about it. And then we was like, oh, okay, we're gonna record. So we recorded, and I'm like, all right, well, we're not gonna we're not gonna post it or anything. And I was like,
we're just
oh, we
fucking.
posted. I'm like, oh fuck, like I kind of regret this now. I'm like, I'm on. And every time I go back and listen to an old episode and I hear some of the shit I say, I was like, why am I saying that? Why am I saying that and letting that be put on the internet? Like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
In a sense, thought that you've always. I'm not saying that there isn't any like I know that you're exaggerating it for the podcast and saying things to be edgy and stuff like that just for the sake of entertainment, right? But initially, like, I wasn't really sure about it. I wasn't really sure if this is truly you or if this was like just like, you know, kind of like that. So like, remember, I don't know if you remember that one time where you said something along the lines like, yeah, I'll fucking take any money and do slander for
against the trans,
against the trans and stuff, and I remember getting really
I remember that
irritated about that. And part of me was just like, I know you don't mean this and you're just saying this shit for fucking like, you know, for goofs and gaffs, but like, I just don't feel like this is like the right thing to do, to joke around about, kind of, or at least internally, that's how I felt, right? But like after that, like when you got serious and you're like, if I have to fucking like, you know, you said like, if I have to explain that it's a joke, then it's no longer funny.
Yeah. Then it becomes something serious. It becomes something where.
And so then like when you said that, I was like, all right, cool. So like it's not really that, like he's like, or it just kind of confirmed my suspicion that you were just fucking doing it for the shit, for the joke, right?
And like, and I think I mentioned it even that it's like everyone's basically okay when I talk about fucking kids, but it's like it's only when it becomes a little bit personal and it starts to affect you a little bit. That's when people get. I'm like, that's when like you have to accept everything, even the shit that's gonna hurt your feelings.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because then it just stops being fun for everyone. You
Definitely.
know what I mean?
It's just
like if you can believe that I'm pro touching kids on the podcast, like part of the game, then come on, like really, like I'm not. That says more about you guys than it does about me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it, and that was my point. It was like, really, if I gotta explain that I'm not this fucking monster, then what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like,
and that's like, so I think that's one of the things that like, for me, in a sense, I wanted to kind of like not say give you an opportunity to fucking like to write the record,
plead my case,
or anything of that sort, but just kind of like to give people like, because I know you personally, I know you from outside of the podcast and the satirical characters that not even characters that we play, but the exaggerations that we do in the podcast, because we know that we're doing that just to be entertaining and stuff like that. I mean, part of it, like we like the jokes that we say is stuff that we normally would kind of like say to his way. But I mean, like it's a little bit more like to 11 on the fucking podcast, if anything else.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, like when we're off the fucking like off the microphones, we're fucking chill, dude. We're sharing this space and we're just like, you know, you get me?
There's moments too where it's not even just about like what we're saying it's also about how we're saying it, because there's an episode from the Pigs podcast, and it was where we were talking about Star Wars or something, and Benji talks about the Death Star blowing up, like, and all the plumbers. But when he said that, I seen him looking at me.
Right.
That's why I was like, "Fuck you! Why are you?" Because it wasn't even. It was just. It was fucking direct, and it was just one of those where I'm like, it's not just about what we say; it's about how. And it's the shit that you don't get to people that listen don't get to see, because they can't see us, what we're doing and shit.
Exactly.
So it's a lot harder to get like certain context too, if we're like, and like, we shout at each other, but it's not we're not at each other's throats.
Yeah, exactly, definitely. But yeah, that's like, I don't know, like I think about that dynamic that we have and how here we are today in your place, you're loaning me your spot to record this, and how
renting.
Huh?
Renting.
Please support the podcast at Patreon. But I mean, it's just like that sort of situation where like, okay, like how did this start? Like literally we met at a bar.
That's what it was.
you know?
What was kind of like, it's kind of even weirder is like, so we met at a bar once, and I don't think we had any fucking interaction until we recorded again.
Exactly.
And then it was just like, oh yeah, I remember you from that one night a couple years ago before the world was like almost fucking
2 years ago, basically.
Yeah, I was like, it felt so much longer though because of COVID.
I know, right?
But it was like, yeah, I remember you. I was like, I was drunk, but I think we managed well. So fuck it, here we go. And yeah, it seems to be managing still.
It's been going still.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's one of those things where like I kind of so you know how like the last episode that we recorded for Pigs, right? Where it was the whole Aussie special and stuff like that. You were talking about someone who was I forgot. I said something along it's like, okay, move this along, you know, kind of thing, where I was like really fucking like just being a bitch, dude,
yeah, straight
up. And I have to ask you this because quite frankly, like I hear it and I'm like, and you sounded like you were a little bit angry, or at least in some sort of way, like, you know what, fuck you, dude. And I wanted to know, like, how did you feel at that moment? Did I fucking cross the line when I did that?
No. Here's okay. I get that a lot because apparently I have like, I guess, a resting bitch tone,
right?
Because there's even times where like I'll say something and I'll catch myself and I'll be like, I'm sorry, I know that sounded harsh. That's just the way I sound sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But especially for the podcast, like if I'm just I'm just trying to convey like a certain emotion, and for the podcast, I'm just like amping it up.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to be like antagonistic too. That's
another thing too. Yeah.
It has nothing to do with like legitimate hurt feelings or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Like, cause I don't think there's ever been an instance where like I've been like, oh well, fuck. Like there's been instances where I'm like, oh fuck you guys. Yeah. But not like in a way. You know what I mean?
Kind of like you're like, oh yeah, whatever, dude. Like, you know, kind of like it wasn't really like
when like, okay, if you get me good, then you get me good.
Right.
Like, and those are the ones where like, yeah, you're gonna get a little butthurt about.
Yeah.
So that's when you know it's good. But like, just like, oh, move it along. I'm like, whatever. Like nah. It's shit like that doesn't bother me. And it's just when I'm not overly emotional about something and I'm pretty just like flat about it. That's when
yeah. And I kind of think that I'm kind of the same in that same way, where it's just like I'll try not to show any emotion or anything of that sort. And unless you really see me fucking like being like very, very fucking like serious, very fucking like angry and fucking like then that's kind of like the tipping point. But for the most part, like if I'm angry and stuff like that, I'll kind of just be like just monotone, just kind of like not really, you know.
At least on my end, because for me at that point, I'm just like over it and I'm tired. And I just want to
move on. I don't want to fucking deal with this anymore.
Baseline me. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I totally understand that. I have to ask this simply because I want to know what was going through your head the first episode that we recorded.
Ooh, one, I had mentioned a little bit earlier, I didn't think we were going to release it. I did not. So I drank the first couple episodes. We did not know how to drink while recording.
Arguably, we still don't.
No, we're better. We are better. We don't have it under control because there are fucked up episodes. But like the first, I think 2 or 3, especially the first one for me, I was like, I don't listen to it. I listened to it once. I'm like, no, I can hear how drunk I am. I'm like, that's not good. And it's not that because we said anything horrific. It's just like like I said, I didn't take it serious because I didn't think
it's like watching some fucking like 18-year-olds that are like drinking for the first time and they're just like fucking making asses out of themselves and stuff like that. Yeah.
And it was too much of a party vibe.
Yeah.
And it was, I think if Benji had like legit told us we're going to release it, I would have been different, but didn't think we were going to. So there was no like real pressure or worry about it. I was just like, all right, here we go.
Do you feel like because we've been releasing episodes like not consistently, but off and on, periodically, but like considering how it became more of a thing that we were doing more often, that kind of tempered the way that you went about? Yeah,
I kind of figured out, I don't want to say like my character because we don't have characters.
Right.
But like I figured out, I guess my role in the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And it as we've gone on, I think I kind of fucked myself though, because as we've gone on, it's like
It's hard to keep it up.
It is. It really is. Because even the last couple ones where it's like, I think it was the last episode. It was like, I said something, or the last episode or the second to last episode, I said something about like you, like I just took a jab at you for the gay thing, and like, are you happy now? Like it, like because I was like most of the episode I didn't say anything. And
Oh
it was just,
yeah, that was like fuck.
yeah, and it was just like, are you happy now? Do you feel complete? And it's just like, I kind of pigeonholed myself here. I'm like, but and it's just like, wow, like how heinous can I get then? You know what I mean? Like how? But other than that, there is no. I mean, for me, it really does just feel like shooting the shit. Some like a lot of the times, it's just my favorite episodes that we record are when we're that nice level of like toasty, and we just kind of like, yeah, we may have like a jumping off point, but my fucking love of the show is the tangents, where we all of a sudden like we'll talk about something for like 5-10 minutes, and then it'll lead to a small reference, and that reference just balloons into something else.
Like, the trajectory just goes all the way
over and over and over.
Yeah.
And then every bit someone's like, well, that was our this and this talk. And it's just like, you know, but
remember when we tried to have segments?
Yeah, that was, it worked for a little bit, but it's not, again, the drinking and the.
I think we're also kind of like, we might have something in like some sort of like, whether it be ADHD or something that just kind of like, I think all of us are affected by something that, like similar to that, where we just can't.
I legitimately think if alcohol was not involved to the extent it is, we would probably be able to have segments.
You know what? I do think you're onto something there, because
like if we limited it to like 3 beers each an episode, because 3 beers is not a lot.
No, it's not.
It's not.
But
well, and the other thing too is the type of beer. Because like, yeah, we can say 3 beers, but if the 3 Maximus is,
yeah,
you know what I mean? But that's just not us. That's just.
Well, I try to avoid those now because it's like, yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, we're just not professional.
I mean, I don't think that. I think about how if it were to have like to blow up and get to like a fucking not necessarily like a big ass production, like say like TV or something like that, but it gets to a point where like we need to kind of get a little bit like more serious about it and stuff like that. Do you think we would be able to do it?
I think 2 of us would be able to do it. I would say 1.5 of us would be able to do it, because I remember telling Benji this one time. What if on the very fucking small minimal off chance like this shit takes off and we get like, no, I'm not saying like Joe Rogan level and shit, but like where we like, it's paying the bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's paying the bill. I'm like, I can't handle that, because like that means fans, and that means like fucking appearances, and I'm like, I don't like, no, I don't want to. I don't like. I'm doing this now because it's a voice. I don't have to be anywhere. You know what I mean?
Right,
I'm like,
right.
I was like, I don't want to do it. I can't do it.
So you like, you don't like the idea of you having like a fan base or anything of that sort. You're not down with it.
I just can't ever imagine having fans.
Do you feel like it might be something where like kind of like that saying was like never meet your heroes, because you know?
Well, no, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna be a fucking piece of shit to them, but like it's just like,
no, more so like you would be a disappointment in that sense, where like the fans would probably be more disappointed about your actual who you are in person over what you are, or the quote unquote personality you portray.
I mean, I'm boring as fuck. I mean, you know, I'm boring as fuck. I mean,
I say the same thing. I'm the same thing for me as well. Like legit.
Yeah, I'm not. Fuck, dude. There's nothing. I mean, yeah, if it's just gonna be like, oh, you want to hang out and have a couple beers, okay, we'll do that. But that's unrealistic. You know what I mean? That's not safe. You can't do shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's just like weird to like. Yeah, I had that moment already. It was like, oh, but it was one of those things like. The more I thought about it, I'm like, well, I could just kind of fucking be dumb about it and just like wear the Mando helmet to shit like that. You know what I mean? Just be like, why the fuck not? You know? And just walk around with a big metal straw or fucking drink water or something.
No, have one of those fucking those beer hats on top of it, and then just fucking just that fucking shit. Oh god.
But like, I there would definitely be struggles and growing pains if that were to kind of take off.
Like if we were to get to that point.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. I can see that happening. I mean, we're inexperienced. We don't know shit about this, you know, one way or another. So I'm surprised we've gotten that far or this far, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that we've gotten far. I'm surprised we've kept this up.
We've kept this up for how long it is. Because I mean, it's already been going to what, like 3 years?
More. Dude. It's like probably 4.5.
4.5. Yeah. So
something like that. We don't even have 100 episodes.
But it's just like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like I mean, and every time that it happens, I'm for it, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna say no unless I have to fucking do something else. But like I'm always down for it, you know. Yeah, that's something that I personally have thought about. But I never really asked you about that sort of like how you felt about being in the podcast and in if it were to like blow up or if it were what if this actually like
Well, I've mentioned it on the other podcast before. I never really legitimately like think about that because, like, for me, it really like it really is just I'm just doing this for like myself in terms of down the line I could just go listen to like memories of like hanging out with some friends.
kind of like when your friends are like had a camcorder and you're just recording stupid shit
Yeah,
and just kind
like
of
that's what it is for me.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so it's like, I mean, there is that
Chronicle,
little bit of
dude.
yeah, but yeah, 100%. There is that little bit of a pressure, like of I don't want to say pressure, but a little bit of that like needing to be entertaining, I guess, because it is going to be put out there. But
Yeah.
I don't treat it as anything other than just like I'm just kind of just doing it for me.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how you like. Is that how do you?
For me, it's like I think I told you guys too this. I initially when Benji pitched it to me, I was like, okay, because I was starting to stream at the time, and I was like, oh shit, you know what? This is a good opportunity for me to like kind of like put my stuff out there for an audience. Because I mean, I would be basically putting my own brand out there. Apart from me doing my own thing, I could plug it into the podcast, and
Yeah.
that's just another place where I could fucking potentially grow my audience for Twitch and stuff like that. And initially I had that mindset. I like, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy it when we do it, but that was my initial like mindset when I was like doing this. It's like this is a potential opportunity for me to like expand and grow. And then now with the way things are, I'm just doing it because we're hanging out and talking, like
Yeah.
like I don't even fucking do the streaming anymore or anything of that sort. So it's just like I'm just doing it because I enjoy it. Like I legitimately enjoy hanging out with you guys, talking and just doing this shit. We're drinking and all that stuff. Basically, it's like it would be the equivalent of us just basically hanging out, like,
yeah.
and just having a few beers and with the exception of it's just literally us just talking and not having something like, because a lot of times when we first start, like when we meet up in Benji's place, he's playing something on his TV. We'll hang out, talk, and just watch whatever. What is it, Meat Canyon or whatever the fuck it is.
Recording very much feels like a controlled chaperoned hangout.
Yeah,
Like, because it's like there's parameters that we're are self-imposed that we have to follow. But the moment like we start recording, nothing really changes other than it gets a little bit more, I guess, loose and open. Like they're like, the rules are just kind of gone, but nothing really changes.
Yeah, because I mean, like for the most part, like when we're in there, we're trying to focus on just making sure that the conversation is being recorded and nothing is distracting from the conversation, and because otherwise, if we were watching something and just like the tangents would be even worse, than what they already are. And yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that I enjoy about when we do that is just the fact that we're literally hanging out and just fucking shooting the shit, essentially, And if I were to go back in time, I would tell myself just do it again, like just keep doing it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't stop myself from doing it because quite frankly, I think it's one of the best things that's happened in my life personally. I don't know if you feel the same way or if you have any similar thoughts about it, because it allows me to reconnect. And I mean, to be all completely honest and just be truthful about it, that's how I met you, dude. And and I feel like personally, I feel like we've grown very close. We've become really good friends, and it was, to me, it's one of the best opportunities, like one of the best opportunities in my life that allowed me to meet you.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah.
I have that in the sense of like, I mean, it goes to that kind of fucking joke of just like everyone has a podcast now.
Yeah.
But it was like when he told me, I'm like, all right, fuck it, whatever. Like I ain't got shit to do. You know what I mean? Like I'll do it. And I didn't take it seriously, but we're still doing it, and I still enjoy it because it's fucking food and beer and hanging out and shit. And it's the same thing. It's like like I had known Benji for a couple years, and like I wouldn't say we're friends. I wouldn't say we're like fucking close friends, but it has given me the opportunity to get closer to him and then like get to know you more and get so it has been
Because like what,
It's been nothing but positives. You know what I mean?
you guys were kind of like mutuals, no? Like
yeah. I met him through another friend and stuff like that. So and prior to that, he had been to my place before, but it had been years before that. And shit, and like we would run into each other off and on, and he was like, we were cool. You know what I mean? And then once I got my PS4, and that's when we kind of started gaming together, and that's when we were talking more. And then that's kind of what made us more like friends as opposed to like acquaintances.
Right.
And then from there, like sometime after COVID is when he hit me up like randomly. He's like, "Hey, I want to do a podcast." And then it was like, it was you and this other dude and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, do you remember that dude you were talking to at my birthday? I'm like, yeah. He's like, it's him. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, I remember him. I don't remember jack shit about him, but okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it, whatever. Like, I mean, if we're going to be drinking recording, we got along drinking over there. I can't, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
So, but it is kind of funny, like essentially just throwing like two strangers in there in the mix, and then just be like, all right, just go. You know what I mean? And like there is, if you listen to the progression of that podcast, it goes from very much like from kind of like going from being to strangers to very much like there has to be some kind if I'm
for
consistently
yeah.
harassing, you know what I mean? Like wishing death upon you and shit. Like so it's.
Because I mean, like for starters, we're not professionals in any sort of manner when it comes to the podcast, and so then like there's no way that we would have like a sort of like working relationship in that regard. You get me? Like I don't think I would have the capacity to have a working like relationship like that with someone where I would fucking get shitted on by them without like feeling like, you know, like even just to put it as a show, I wouldn't be able to fucking do something like that because like I wouldn't be able to fucking take it without feeling like I don't
disassociate the
like because like I mean like it's like, you know, when friends shit on each other, it's basically just just fucking friendly, you know, shit talking, and it's like there's a mutual understanding that it's like it's just for the shits and giggles. It's not serious or anything of that sort, right? But then like say if the way that you and I are in the podcast now, we would have started like that from the beginning.
No, you don't. You can't.
Yeah, you can't. But I mean, like, that's one of the amazing things about like doing the podcast for how long we've done it is the fact that we've been able to get to that point where we're like comfortably just ragging on each other and like, you know, kind of that shit, you know? I mean, it's just the thought that like literally Benji just put two strangers together and that's like,
it's kind of weird.
The outcome, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's fucking, I would never expect it to work that way.
Well, even to the extent of like, so you put two strangers together and then you start, you know, working on this thing, and then now like those two strangers are like, you're here in my house without Benji, you know what I mean? Like it's he's no longer just the thing holding us together.
Like,
you know
he
what
wasn't
I mean?
like exactly.
It's pretty crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. Moving away from the topic of the podcast and maybe delving a little bit more deeper into you. We were talking outside before we started recording. We were talking about politics and stuff like that, and the famous accident with Dick Cheney.
Yes. A real American hero.
Real American hero.
Go on.
I kind of wish I had recorded that because, quite frankly, that was a really good fucking just banter about that fucker. But I don't want to go too deep into it, or I don't want to like go into a full heated discussion or debate about if we do end up getting into a place where we might disagree. But we generally, when we talk about like the political stuff, we end up, you know, agreeing lots of the time with everything that's going on, right? I think the only thing that we maybe have like some sort of disagreement might be social issues, quote unquote wokeness and stuff like that, you know. And if anything, it's like a very minor disagreement, like with certain things.
Yeah, I think a lot of it probably has to do with how it's gone about, like how it's done and stuff.
Right. Because one of the criticisms that you always brought up with the newer like Star Wars stuff that was happening, or at least like with a lot of like the new Marvel properties and stuff like that, was like, oh, it's like there's too much of focus on the woke stuff, right? That's one of the things that you've always said. And to me, like, because I hear that way too often online, and it's kind of, it ends up being kind of like code for like, oh, I don't like seeing, you know, it usually tends to come from like bigoted people that just really like they don't care, they don't want to see other people and stuff like that. I don't necessarily get that from you. I think like I think the criticism that you have about it is the fact that it's just very cookie cutter and not really, really good, well done.
Okay. Have you ever seen the series? I think there's 2 seasons already on Netflix. Heartstoppers.
I have not.
It's based off a graphic novel.
Right.
I love the first season. I haven't seen the second one yet.
Heartstoppers, you said?
Yeah. It's about they're in high school. I think they're in the UK, England, or something like that. It's a gay teen, and then he's like falls in love with this other dude who's kind of like the stereotypical jock, and they strike up a friendship, and he's like, oh, I'm kind of into this dude.
Right.
Figures out he's bi or whatever, blah blah blah. I fucking love it. It's beautiful. It's a fucking it's a really fucking lovely show. Sounds very woke, but it's just 2 people just figuring themselves out.
Right.
Like, I don't care that they're gay. I don't care about it. But like for the Marvel stuff, it's like I'm super cool because of this. I'm like, no, just be fucking cool because you're cool and you're this. You know what I mean? Don't like my thing is just it doesn't.
It's their identity, I guess, is what you're saying.
You know what I mean? It's not. Because it's not your identity. I mean, it shouldn't be your identity.
It shouldn't, yeah.
It shouldn't be your identity. At least for me, it feels that way. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of it even comes with the whole, like, Mexican, Hispanic pride. Like, yeah, I'm, like, Latino and stuff, but I've mentioned it before. It's like, I'm not Mexican-American. I'm American. I was born here. I never came from anywhere else.
Right.
It's not that I don't have pride in my heritage, but I'm just American.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's by definition.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just, okay, so my Spanish isn't great. Doesn't mean I'm not, like, why do you have, like, you know what I mean? Like, why do there have to be certain parameters to be certain things? You know what I mean? Like, why do you have to fit this mold to a certain extent before you're being, oh, you're just very whitewashed, or, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it's just different. I don't know, dude. Like,
kind of like outcasting people just because of like,
yeah.
I guess in a sense, like the conversation that we were having in the last recording that you and I did, where like, where we kind of got stuck in that subject about like, you know, identity for gays and stuff like that. If you felt pressured that you needed to conform to that sort of like, you know, I think I have an understanding of what you mean by what you just said right now. I think that we should all just submerge ourselves in that fucking liquid from the Neon Genesis Evangelion and just become one.
Fuck, I forgot. I haven't seen that shit in so long. God damn it.
Dude, the only reason why it reminded me of this is because I was watching, or listening rather, I'm playing Destiny 2, grinding out and shit, and I have a video playing in the background and I'm just listening to it while I'm fucking doing the repetitive motions of like killing fucking random fucking alien creatures that are probably just not really trying to kill me. I'm just coming in here and just, you know, just colonizing
typical settler or typical colonizer.
Just colonizing the fucking moon, you know, from these people, these fucking aliens that were probably living there way before I did. But it was mentioning the Lilith angel,
okay,
and how that's where they were getting the liquid from her, right? Which is, what is it called, LCL, or I forgot what the hell it was.
I don't remember, dude.
But
because the Lilith one is the one that they have trapped underground, right?
Right. Because it's that liquid is the liquid that they use to submerge people into when they're
in the Evas.
When they're in the Evas, and basically like that's in the end of it. That's what everyone becomes. When fucking, what's her name? Ayami Ray, I think was her name.
Dude, it's been so long since I watched that shit.
The whole point is like she ends up integrating with Lilith, and then she fucking basically just everyone became one through the submerging of that fucking liquid and stuff like that. And that's that. I'm telling you that you just fucking like, that's immediately my thought. I just came up to it, like, that was it. I guess in an effort to kind of like make people or give people the opportunity to get to know you a little bit more, not necessarily personally, but at least outside of the pigs in a podcast kind of thing. Cause you haven't really talked much about like your personal stuff other than maybe like on passing.
I was like make jokes about it, but
or stuff like that. And again, like I said in the other recording, like if you don't want to answer a question, you don't have to.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I'm just putting it out there. It's up to you whether you want to. Do you mind sharing a little bit of like what your upbringing was?
No, not at all. It was, I'm trying to figure out how to word this without sounding like, because it wasn't like bad, but I bounced back and forth between staying with my parents and my grandma for no other reason than just convenience on all sides. Because when it was just my dad working, my mom was staying at home, I was staying there. But when they both started working, I started staying here because free childcare. And it just got to a point where it was just kind of convenient for me just to be here all the time. So I, for a lot of the time, I just grew up here with my grandparents, and it was chill. Like it was. I mean, I don't know how in depth you want me to go on how like.
It's up to you how you want to go, but I mean, like, remember this is going on the internet.
No,
like,
yeah.
You, as long as you don't fucking like violate any TOS or anything of that sort, I'm okay with it.
Oh no.
But I mean, I don't want you to feel pressure to like want to have to like say something that you don't want it to be out there.
Oh no. I'm just saying like in terms of like I said, it's just kind of like a nobody. So it's not like anything, but like it's just, I don't know, I guess kind of a basic household that, just raised by my grandparents. The only like crazy interesting stuff that would happen, well, come to find out now, one of the big things was Mr. Churchy Church up the street, what they were up to, but that didn't really affect me.
Yeah. They didn't come down here and try to indoctrinate you?
No, and it just makes my self-esteem really
bad. Not even now that you're that you live here, they haven't come knocking down here.
No, well, that was the weird thing. Even like as a kid, I couldn't. The adults didn't really like their kids hanging out with non-church members.
That makes sense. I mean, it's cultish,
But like aside from that stuff, during the 90s, it was kind of Wild Westy out here. There was,
I would imagine,
we had some shootings, and there were some good ones. I remember one when I was in elementary school. I was doing homework, and there was a drive-by, and when I ran outside, everyone was like at a house, like a couple houses down. The straight bullet just hit like a girl. She survived, but they moved not that long after. But I remember the next day the news was here, and I happened to be outside being a fat ass because I just bought chicharrones from the chicharron guy. So the fucking
were they actually pork rinds, or were the little fucking discs that are just basically flour?
Well, no, it wasn't the disc, but it was the flour, but the big one.
Okay, the big one, yeah.
And like I said, the news happened to be here. It was like, I don't remember if it was fucking Telemundo or what's the other one? Televisión? Whichever one it was either 34 or 52. But they were here, and they're like, "Oh, were you here?" They fucking interviewed me, bro. And that night, I was on Spanish news eating chicharrones, fucking talking about the shooting, dog. I was like in elementary school. So just shit like that. There was a gnarly one that happened. I don't remember how old I was. I was probably like in 4th, 5th grade, maybe 6th grade. But I was at the neighbor's house. And it was during the summer, and I remember that day there was a dude that had been like riding up and down the block on his bike, and he had been doing it for like, I don't know, good like hour and a half. And so I was at my neighbor's house, and he was playing.
Oh, like this dude wasn't part of the neighborhood or anything about.
I don't know. He had a hood on.
Oh shit!
But it was just but it was summer, so it was like you're a fucking kid who wasn't paying attention. And so I was at my neighbor's house. I don't remember what we were playing. He was playing something, and my cousin happened to be at the front door, like knocking on it, just being a fucking annoying because she wanted to hang out, and we're like, fuck off or whatever. So we just left her out there, and then randomly you just hear just fucking pops. We all, like, him and I knew exactly what it was, so we just fucking ducked down like immediately and just hit the fucking ground. And then I was like, oh shit, my cousin was outside, so I ran out and I didn't see her anywhere, and so I came out, and then as I guess she heard the door open and close. Because she came out from the side of the house. So she fucking booked it to the side of the house. So I was like, all right, let's go home. Like, come over here next door to my grandma's house. And I remember when we were leaving my neighbor's front yard, we were going out through the front gate, and we had to step over a body. There's some dude laid out like right in front. So we had to step over that body. And then my parents happened to be here, and they had brought us Happy Meals. And I remember when literally turned to go from his house to our driveway. I don't remember this part. My mom told me kind of recently, but I remember there was a dude in there that had been shot. I don't remember how many times he had been shot. I think it was like at least twice. And one of them, he got shot in the hand, and it took off his finger, but the finger was still hanging on by a piece of skin. And that's all I remember seeing is when I turned the corner, is him holding his hand up, and And my mom said, she's like, yeah, I was there. I was holding him. I was covered in his blood. I don't remember her there. I just remember
Really?
him. She was like, yeah, because I think she said she was the one that once he went down, she grabbed him and drug him into the driveway to kind of give him cover and stuff. I don't remember her there. I just remember him and his hand and the finger. And then so we went inside and stuff and then I do remember we ate the Happy Meals, but it was a while after because they were fucking ice cold. I remember
Damn.
the burger and fries being ice fucking cold. And I remember, so when all this went down, it was probably late afternoon, early evening because the sun was still up and it was a summer. So it got dark. But by the time we were eating, it was night. It was like dark out and the cops were out and everything was fit. That's finally when we started eating.
Holy shit.
I don't really remember. I just remember playing the game, the shots, my cousin being there, having to go over the body, turning the corner, seeing the dude's hand and finger, and then eating, and that's it. Those are the key points I remember. I don't really remember anything else from that night.
I mean, it happened so long ago, and I wouldn't blame you if you forgot about most of the details, but do you think you might be suppressing some of it?
I'm sure there's like a lot of stuff like that because there was other times that there were shootings. Nothing that was probably like the craziest, but I do remember for the little time that I was going to therapy, somehow it came up because she had asked something, and I'm like, oh, just like basic stuff, like, you know. And she's like, well, what kind of basic stuff are you? So I told her that, and she's like, there's nothing basic
That's
about
not basic,
that.
dude.
Like that, like it's not normal and healthy to just be like, oh, that's basic. Like she's like, you don't talk about. I'm like, no, because I was just like, that's just normal. She's like, there's nothing normal childhood about that. I'm like, and then now because of her, I started thinking like, I don't know, maybe that's why I key in on certain things or like, but I don't. It is what it was.
Well,
like,
I mean, like when you're in an environment that just basically gives you the same thing over and over and over again, you just kind of get used to it, you know, and you just kind of think of it as it being a normal recurrence and just something that's kind of like that's just part of life, kind of thing.
and it wasn't even so much that like it happened consistently but it was like when it happened, it was like a shock, but it happened in the area enough where it was just like, I guess it was just a matter of time before.
No,
you know what I mean?
exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah,
It was very much of just, it was just part of growing up here.
yeah. It's kind of like if like I think I mentioned it in the last recording that we did it where like yeah there was like the area that I live in wasn't really necessarily like you know like very good, but it wasn't really that bad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but even then some, like I can safely say it's like, okay, like hearing about a shootout or hearing, you know, gunshots is just like, oh shit, you know,
Yeah, it's just
impromptu fireworks basically,
Yeah,
you know, kind of
it-
thing. And you just kind of like it's just happening, you know, kind of deal.
It's not common, but it's when you hear it, you're not shocked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Unless it's like really, really close, then you're like, oh shit, you know, get down on the ground kind of thing, you know?
Well, even now, sometimes when I hear him here, it's like it's the shock, but I'm like, oh, I haven't heard that in a while. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it's like, oh, and it's not like it's just like, oh, well, you know, when it's a little closer, it's like, oh, okay. But even then, you're like, I mean, it is what it is. There's not much you can do about it.
Yeah. Because that's one of the things that I think about, like, especially now in the area that I live in. Sure, there hasn't been that many, like, I mean, it's been a while since we've had any sort of shootout there
Yeah.
or anything of that sort, but we definitely hear a lot of fireworks.
Yeah.
And now it's more of kind of like, or it's like, let's play the guessing game. Was it
Yup.
a firework or was it a fucking gunshot?
Yeah,
you know,
that's
kind of
become
thing.
one of my favorite games.
Yeah, exactly. And so then, but I mean, that's another thing too, is just how you just become like used to it and just kind of like
You adapt.
you adapt to it and sort of thing. And while yes, it's not a normal thing, and I don't think anybody should be accustomed to it. I understand how you
Yeah.
feel that would be like just a normal childhood, because quite frankly, that's what
It was the norm.
it was the norm for us, you know.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of like something repressed in there because of that too, for myself as well included.
Yeah.
Like you know, because it's stuff like that. But yeah, that's crazy, dude. Like witnessing that, and dude, your mom fucking like,
Yeah. Oh, my mom has fucking stories.
I bet.
My mom has fucking stories. But yeah, the 90s are fucking crazy. I'm trying to think. Well, there was one time I know I was young. I was probably like, I won't guess my age. I was definitely in elementary school though. And it was my dad, my mom, and I, we were going somewhere at night, probably to get food or something. And this was at the house in Whittier. So I was in the back seat, and I remember I used to like to lay down in the back seat instead of just sitting with my seatbelt on. So I was doing that, and my parents were in the front seat. My dad was driving, and instead of taking the main street, Whittier Boulevard, to get to there, he was just gonna cut through like an alley behind a 7-Eleven, and then I guess catch it or whatever. So when he cut through there, it was, I don't know what the scenario was or whatever, but as soon as he started driving through, like, I guess I couldn't see, but I guess people like sprung up and started shooting at the car. I guess that they were expecting someone else, and I don't know. I was a fucking child, and they were just shooting at the car. I think they only hit the car like once or twice, but it was, I mean, whatever. But yeah, it was just one of those fucking situations where I'm like, and I remember like hearing the shots, and my mom be like, stay down. And I was like, all right, cool. And it was just, I was scared, but it was like, I don't know, dude. I don't know what the proper fear response should have been, but I don't think I had like the normal, like, I know obviously I was scared, but I don't think.
Mom, is this hail?
Wait, I was gonna say, I don't think you understand like how close. Like, I knew that they're shooting, but like I don't think it really sunk into like, oh, this could have been way worse.
Yeah, like I don't think. Well, I don't know. I mean, like, do you think that you were aware of what like?
Like I said, obviously I was aware of like, oh, they're shooting, and obviously I know like what can happen if you get shot and stuff, but like. At the time, I don't think I was aware of like, oh, like
the severity of like the situation,
like how easily we made it through that, or how like fortunate we were just with whatever damage was done. Because like even on my end, I was like, fuck, dude, like I could have lost both parents.
Yeah,
and that never really, you know what I mean? It was just, and maybe because we got out of it so easily, it never occurred to me. But yeah, it was just like one of those kind of like freaky moments of like, oh, remember we're going through the alley, and they like. Every once in a while, me and my dad talk about it, but it's just like one of those like, oh, that was crazy. But like without, I said, realizing it's like, you could have fucking died. You know what I mean? Like I could have died. Like it's just not. That's kind of weird. Now that I think
that's
about
crazy. It's just one of those things that you never know, right? But yeah, it's fucking stories like that. Is like you kind of just like it's just part of your story, and that's it. Like it's nothing like you know.
Okay, so my dad and I was already in my 20s. My dad and I, we used to go for walks and stuff. Some of them were fucking like long walks and shit. And one day we were coming back, like finishing up the walk and stuff. And we were coming up down the street to an overpass for the 60. And right around the corner was the sheriff's station. Where the train stops. You know where the sheriff's station is?
Right. You know, I know where where it stops. I just don't remember seeing a building that was like a sheriff's station.
Because you can't. It's further down. It's like right in between the second to last stop and it's like right before the second to last stop or last stop of it's right before right before the second to last stop and the last stop of the goal line. But you can't see it because it's right where that duck park is. I don't think you would have gone that far down. No. But it's like we're right around the corner from there. And as soon as we get under the underpass, a fucking car pulls up and some dude just hops out and like pulls a gun on us. And he's like, "Where you from?" And like I didn't say shit. And it was really weird because everything just felt like it just slowed way the fuck down. And I remember him asking that and just not hearing anything else. My dad didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I just remember him standing out there pointing the gun. And I couldn't even tell you who he was fucking pointing it at. I just remember like focusing on the gun because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this dude's going to do. I don't know how long that situation was. Couldn't have been very long. Like, I don't know, 30 seconds. I honestly couldn't tell you. But after a bit, he just kind of like hopped back in the car and they drove off. And it was just like one of those where it was like that at that time, I legitimately, swear to God, I wasn't even fucking scared. It was just like, I was more like angry than like, I can't even come for a fucking walk. You know what I mean? Like, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, what should the response have been? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was just really fucking weird. Really fucking weird. Even in the like, when I think about the dude, I'm like, what the fuck is he thinking? You know what I mean? Like at some point he had to like go through his head and was like, am I doing anything about this? Like what's going on? And then no, nothing, hop in the car and they just take off. You know what I mean? It's like,
It's just a very weird interaction because
It
I mean,
was.
like they suspected you of something, right?
well, I don't even know if, you know what I mean? I don't know if it was one of those where like, if there's just these dudes that randomly decided to hit us up for whatever fucking reason, maybe one of us looked like someone. I don't know. Like, my dad brought it up, and ever since then, part of me is like, because he told me that guy kind of like look around my age is like, did he look familiar? I'm like, why would he look familiar? He's like, I don't know. Maybe he recognized you, and that's why he just left us alone. I'm like, I don't fucking know. I couldn't tell you what it looked like. I just, as soon as he came out and he pulled out the gun, that's all I was focused on. But it was just really weird. I'm like, it was because after he said that, there was like no words spoken. He was just, there's just us standing, and then he fucking went back in the car and they closed the door, and then they just drove off. It was like him and two other dudes in the car, at least two other dudes in the car.
That is a weird.
It was really,
that's really weird.
It was like I said, it just stopped, pulled over, got out of the car. Where are you guys from? Nothing, and then got back in, and then it was just really fucking not. And I mean, look, I'm not complaining. No attempt to rob, nothing. It was just that.
But I mean,
what
that's the thing.
fuck?
That's what I'm kind of
Yeah.
like. Okay, so like I would like, why would
Like my only initial thought when that first happened was like, I guess I'm dying under an overpass. And as time went on, I was just like,
maybe not?
yeah, like what? And then he drove off. And then it was weird because me and my dad didn't say anything. We just started walking back the way we were coming just to go pass by the sheriff's station. We weren't going to fucking say anything because there's nothing they'd be able to do. But just so we'd be like around more where there's cops at least. And then we were quiet. And then I don't know who said something, but we're like, what the fuck was that about? Like, you know what I mean? It was just, there was no, I don't know. It was fucking weird.
I mean, like I'm trying to fucking like wrap my head around it and just kind of thinking about like what was the whole purpose of it? Because like really, it doesn't look or sound like there was a purpose.
Yeah, like I don't know if maybe our reactions weren't what they were expecting or wanted. Because as far as I remember, my dad was just standing there too. I was just so I don't fucking know.
Wait, so like the dude was young. He was like around your age. Your dad
Probably, maybe in, yeah.
Did you look like a fucking gangbanger before or anything of that sort? Does your dad look like he's a fucking veterano or something like that? I just
Nope.
like I'm trying to fucking figure out. Like, you get me? Like
The way you see me now is basically the way I've always
I
been.
don't
Like
understand,
I don't
like, how-
fucking, I don't get it.
and we're talking like what, fucking 15, 16 years ago?
No, not even like maybe 10 to 12 years ago.
I like
I don't know.
I don't-
I really don't get it.
because I don't feel like fucking like gangster attire has evolved much from like from what it was back in the 80s, 90s, you know? So like
The only thing I could think, and I did tell my dad this, and after that I stopped wearing them. I had black sweats on, but that's that. I think I had black sweats on with like a fucking Volcom shirt on. So I don't fucking know. I really don't know. I couldn't tell you.
that's such a weird interaction that just doesn't make sense for it to happen. You get me? Like
Yeah, it was. It almost felt.
the only thing that I can think about was maybe like this guy was like being tested for something and he just fucking went out and selected you guys as a target. But then when he noticed that you guys didn't do anything about it, he was
Yeah.
like, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna dip.
Part of me sometimes thinks like, were they just like punking us? You know what I mean? Just to try to
that's
scare
another
us.
thing too. Like,
But like, yeah, I don't know. It
'cause
was.
it's either they were punking you or they were trying to like do some sort of test with.
Yeah, I don't. Because I was like, oh, maybe it was like an initiation thing and he just
Mhm,
couldn't fucking
mhm.
do it. I don't know. But every time I think about it, it just like confuses me more and more because I'm like, I don't like,
understand.
I'm grateful nothing happened.
Yeah.
But it was just so fucking weird. It was so fucking weird.
In the moment, like it's crazy how things just kind of like you'd think it would be like such a quick moment, but it doesn't.
Everything slows
it
down.
slows down to very, very horrible pace where you're like just kind of like wanting for it to be over and just wanting to.
And I think that's kind of the worst. I mean, the worst but best part because it's like as slow as everything gets, you're still very lucid. And it's like not one of those situations where, oh, I would have done that. I'm like, because you're not like, yes, I'm sure there's adrenaline, but it's at least it sounds like for you too. And on my end, I was still very focused and clear headed where I'm like, I need like just fucking, just be cool because there, you know what I mean? It's
like your sense of preservation just came up and it was just
you're
like,
very like almost calculated.
Yeah.
And just trying to navigate that situation, which
'Cause
is
it's like-
very weird.
in your situation, it was 3 versus 2 and you guys weren't holding any weapons or anything of that sort.
Well, the only one dude came out.
No, I know, but I mean, like one way or
yeah.
another, dude. Like,
Yeah.
like He's got a fucking force multiplier on his fucking hand. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do about it?
I mean, to be fair, I had a knife. So.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So like, it's understandable that like you like even like the most rational person would understand. It's like yeah, you don't fucking do anything. Like the moment that fucking weapons are brandished against you, it's like you have very limited options as to what you can do.
Well, I mean, I only say that because like you are gonna have those people who are like the John Wicks and shit who think, you know what I mean? Like it's just because it's again, it like you see it with those fucking people with like the concealed carry, where all of a sudden someone takes a step toward them and they're just shooting the fuck. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, like it's just everyone's different, but like it's just one of those situations where it's weird how calm and in the moment you can be in a situation like that.
Yeah.
But weird in a good way, I guess, because you're able to hopefully, you know, navigate that.
It's almost one of those things where like you surprise yourself at how fucking calculating and how fucking like how observant you can get in that sort of situation when it's that sort of like, you know, moment, you know. I wouldn't be surprised that if like maybe with like more, I guess you could say training or maybe like something else, like yeah, you could probably end up doing some fucking stupid John Wick shit. You'll still get shot, but I mean, you know, you could probably like try to do something like that. But yeah, it's intense. It's really intense. I don't know if you felt that, but for me, I felt like some immense shame afterwards. Like I could have done this, I could have done this and this and that.
It wasn't the shame of like I could have done this. It was just like it was almost like, and this is where a lot of the anger came in too, where it was like there's literally nothing I could fucking do. And it wasn't even so much like, oh, they would have killed me. I was like, even if they just decided to fucking like shoot my dad, I'm like, there was nothing I could do to say, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I fucking dead to rights.
Yeah.
Like I was just caught off guard, like through no one's fault. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, it was just like they got the jump on us and like they had us dead to fucking rights.
That sense of powerlessness is like really what like kind of like.
And it did fuck with me in the sense of like after that to this day, I'm still very like head on a swivel now because of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's
I mean, same here, because I mean, like you never expect it to happen in your own block, in your own fucking area, you know. It's that sort of situation. If you can't feel safe in your own area, then where can you feel safe? You know?
And it's one of those fucking situations where it's like this happened like down the street from where I fucking grew up a street I've gone up and down I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
And, you know, as a much younger person, now that I'm in my 20s, this shit fucking happened to me. And not, you know, while I'm with someone else. So it's it's like, well, you know, I guess it's just that's how statistics are. I mean, are made and shit. I guess, but it's just I don't know, man. Things are getting fucking crazy again.
Things have gotten better around this area, no?
It ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
I think right now is a pretty in between period. It's pretty quiet right now.
Because I mean, like I haven't seen or felt like in the times that I've been here, I haven't felt like it feels almost like the same, like my place, I guess you could say. And the reason why I say it's kind of like it's moderately safe because like I mean like again.
Oh no, yeah, just like we got a taco truck up the street and we're like it'll be like 10, 11. I'll walk up the street. I don't, you know what I mean? If I fucking I get shot and die, you know, get killed doing something I love, getting tacos. But it's and that's the other thing too. It's like even when it was bad, I'm like I'm not gonna not go out and enjoy like the neighborhood. You know what I mean? So like, fuck it.
Yeah. That's crazy. What is that thing? What was that fucking? It was. I was actually thinking about it because I recently watched No Time to Die.
Okay.
Actually, last night I watched No Time to Die.
That's the very last one, right?
Yes.
God damn it! It's so good, dude.
I remember how I told you, right, that it was like it's definitely for the fans, not for the fucking like not like the other Bond movies. And I was really like, because I didn't want to sell it to you like it being a good not necessarily not a good like movie, but more so like a normie movie. You get me? Because it really wasn't.
It's the Batman of the James Bond franchise.
The Daniel Craig in particular. But I mean, as a whole series, of the James Bonds. And I remember that at the time when I had gone seen it with my ex. And it's not his kind of movie. Yeah. It never was going to be his kind of movie. I don't think he ever liked any of the Bond movies either. Like, you get me? Like, he was very like, that wasn't his thing. And then I'm leaving the fucking theater like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And then he's like, I didn't like it. I'm like, yeah, it wasn't for, I straight up just
it's not for you.
It's not for you, dude. It's not for you. But I guess like what that kind of made me think is, how you said is like there's really no reason for you not to go out and explore your own place and have to worry about dying or anything of that sort. It just, I thought about that one song lyric from Garbage for what was it, The World's Not Enough.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like there's no point in living if you don't feel alive.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I mean, obviously that's more on the aspect of like doing a lot of stuff with your life and stuff like that. But I mean, like, yeah, you can't fucking not live your life and not feel like you've been doing something, you know, to enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, like,
you can't live your life in fear.
yeah.
You know,
Like, I don't like flying. I fucking hate flying.
right.
I won't say I'm scared of doing it because I do it, but it's one of those things where it's like, I've always wanted to go to Japan. The only way to fucking get there is a 13-hour flight. So either I get over it or I just been like, oh, well, I guess I'm never going to Japan. So it's like, you look, it's gotten to the point where I'm like, in my head, and when I tell people, I'm like, look, can the plane go down? Yeah. Does it scare me? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? I died going, like, trying to get to Japan, and that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, what else? Like, what else is there? You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. At that point, all my problems are gone.
And then your mom becomes like anti-Japanese because like, she was like, oh, his wanting to go see Japan is what take away my son, and forever I will blame the Japanese for this.
Nah, she wouldn't, because all she would have left to hang on to is Godzilla stuff.
Okay, how did this love for Godzilla develop?
I would imagine my dad, because both my parents grew up watching it, like,
Right.
because it would be on TV for them, and I, like, growing up, I loved dinosaurs, so I guess at some point one of them was like, well, I know my dad likes it, like, he still watches it, so he was probably like, oh, it's like a dinosaur, so he stuck it on for me, and it just never went away. Like, it was just, that was one of the, there was a lot of things I latched on to, but that was one of the ones that just never kind of went away. Like, it just became a comfort food for me.
Yeah, because I mean, like, it's like you're like maybe a few steps removed from fucking having a Godzilla museum in your house, basically.
Well, that's what this black area is for.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all once I get shelving and stuff.
So like,
But
does your dad have a similar like does he like collect stuff, Godzilla stuff as well? Or
no, he doesn't. He's
like,
not a collector of stuff. He doesn't
Okay.
collect stuff.
I don't want to say obsession because it sounds very negative. You get me?
No, it's definitely not an obsession, because I, like, there's people out there that can name, like, the composers and the directors of them. I can't do that.
Yeah.
He's a giant lizard, and I fucking
No,
love
I know.
watching the movies.
Because like I mean I think when you love a fandom or like you have
Yeah.
something that you love like this and you know you want to get everything, like I think like using the word obsession or someone telling someone that they're obsessed with it is just very like negative and stuff like that, and it's just like, to me it's like yeah, technically it is an obsession because I mean like you want to
Yeah.
collect the stuff, you want to like, you know, you probably want to end up like, you know, just living in something that like a house that's probably Godzilla themed or something like
Oh,
that.
100%.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like, at least it shows a passion and a love for something that,
Yeah.
you know, that clearly has impacted their life, you know, in a positive way. As long as you're not going bankrupt trying to get, you know, all of these Godzilla things, you know? Yeah, it's crazy because like I don't think I've ever like seen someone or have known of someone to have like on a personal level
Yeah.
that has like this strong love for things Godzilla like the way that you do.
Well, like, and it went from, obviously growing up, I had it. And then by the time I kind of hit like towards the end of high school, it went away. And I think it went away for no other reason, just because I felt like it had to go away. And it wasn't really until honestly kind of like 2014 to, no, I'd say 2019 when the King of the Monsters came out, when I was just kind of like, you know what? This shit makes me happy. So fuck everyone who's like, you're too old for that shit. Because I was just like, what if it's gonna make me happy? Like, I don't give a fuck what anyone else has to say. So
Right.
that's where the just buying the ridiculous shit for it, like the figures and stuff, came in. Because I'm like, why not? Like, why does everyone else get to like buy shit that makes them happy?
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, who gives a fuck if it's a giant
I mean,
radioactive?
people are
like,
doing heroin and that makes them
Yeah,
happy. And, like,
exactly.
and you're just collecting figurines.
exactly. You're like, all
So,
right.
you know,
So it's like, so fuck it. You know, like, come on.
this is a healthier. Like, do you want me to be going over there shooting smack on my arms?
Oh, I do both. I do both. Don't get me wrong. I do both. And it's very expensive. The dragon I chase is Godzilla. I never catch him. I never fucking catch him.
Oh god.
But yeah, it's And it's kind of turned into that with like a lot of things, like even like the anime figures. I'm like, because at first I was like, I'm like, it was kind of like not appealing to people, you know what I mean? And I guess like even to a point where it's like, you know, I can get a girlfriend or it's not gonna. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, you know what? Fuck potential her, you know what I mean? Like, fuck them. Like, if you can, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
but I think that's why I localized it to a specific room too. I'm like, all right, this is because everything else has to, like, at least for me, I want everything else to be normal. But I'm like, all right, in here, it's gonna be everything.
you can't see it because obviously we don't have a camera, but this room has like a fucking padlock on the outside of the door.
No, okay, no joke. So Home Depot sells like a bookshelf door case,
Yeah.
or door thing that I was gonna put there. But the only reason I didn't do it because I'm like,
Wait, where are you going to put it?
right here in place of this door.
Oh, okay.
But I'm like, it's gonna be too obvious because like, why would there just be a hallway leading to a bookcase? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so I didn't do it. But I really
But also
wanted
when
to do
they
it.
go around, it's like, why are there windows in
Yeah.
this second house?
Yeah. So, but I was like, that would have been fucking cool. But
Hey, you know, oh no, never mind. There's really no way you could hide this room like that in
There
plain
isn't.
sight.
mm-mm.
No, it would have to be like in the middle of the structure. You get me?
Yeah,
Yeah, because like there's no way you could hide it, or unless you did it subterraneously. But
that's too much.
yeah, I mean, plus you never know. You might find another sinkhole.
The house is already. The house has a lean to it, so I don't want to add to that. But no, I don't. Fuck it, dude. Just do what's gonna make you happy. You know, like don't worry about what. I mean, look, unless like kids are what's gonna make you happy, then maybe like reconsider something. But
Unless what?
kids are gonna make you happy, then like maybe reconsider.
Yeah.
But there's no point in just. I don't know if Benji can't have figures. Why the fuck can I have figures? You know what I mean? Like,
But you know what? Benji's collection is very like diverse.
Yeah.
You get me? Like it's very like clearly it's stuff that he likes or he loves, but it's like it's very like, you know, he has fucking like The Last of Us, game stuff. He has fucking like movie stuff, you know? I think at one point I saw a Splatterhouse fucking figurine,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you're familiar with Splatterhouse.
yeah.
So it's like I was just like, that's crazy. Like I never thought that he would have been into that, or he would have like done that stuff or collected that. You get me? But it's like, even like the movie collections that he has and all that stuff too of like movies and specific characters. I wouldn't be surprised if he started dedicating like a shrine to Ozzy now, because
Yeah.
you know it's that sort of thing. But you in particular, because it's like there is like the only reason why I say is because like there is a big focus on Godzilla. Like that would be the outlier out of your whole collection.
I think the reason for that is because it's been the only constant,
Yeah.
with the exception of probably Batman.
Yeah.
But Godzilla outweighs, I guess, anything else in terms of my love for a certain fandom, with maybe the exception of Metallica, which in high school, it was very much minimal Godzilla, if anything, to maximum Metallica.
Yeah.
So it's kind of flopped now, or swapped now. I think that's probably the main reason why there's so much Godzilla, because it's been the constant for the longest.
Yeah. Like it's been like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like, because I mean, when did you start listening to like Metallica?
Like in earnest, that was middle school. I was probably 8th grade, something like that. So 12, 13.
Yeah. And then you virtually grew up with fucking Godzilla stuff because of your parents. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes sense why like Godzilla would be the main focus, or at least the one that basically is above all.
And it's not like it was just that. Like fucking Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, all this other stuff. I
Right.
loved it all, and I was obsessed with it all as it was coming out. But this was that was the thing that stuck.
Right. I
And-
think back to like when I started like listening to Metallica, and that was literally in high school. And at the time MP3s were like coming out.
Yeah.
So MP3 CDs and stuff like that. So thank you, Napster, because I was able to fucking download the whole fucking discography that was out at the time, and I was just like,
So you were part of the problem.
I was part of the problem. Fuck you, Lars. I fucking stole your albums. I hear you guys talk, especially like recent, like in the last episode where you're just talking about like music and stuff like that. I personally am not that like deep with music or movies or anything of that sort, but tell me a fictional character like that of a video game that I like, and I can give you like the fucking, you know, their whole fucking life. You get me?
Yeah.
And I've never understood I can never understand how you guys do it, I guess you could say.
Okay. So at least on my end, it comes from I just I really love stories and I love listening to stories. I like hearing people's shit, and that's just what movies and music are.
Right.
And especially like stuff in terms of movies, I get the movie thing from my dad because he was always watching stuff, so I was always watching stuff with him, and a lot of it comes from just like a lot of those cool memories with my dad being younger was watching those movies. And he was very like pretty like liberal on what he'd let me watch, with the exception of like, you know, when I was watching like Aliens, that fucking wrecked me for a good. I was banned from Aliens for a long time, and then some other horror movies for a minute because that fucked me up. But aside from that, there was no real, in terms of like cussing and violence, there was no real like,
there was like no censorship when it came to that.
yeah. And I mean, for like sex scenes and stuff, they'd be like, oh, look away, but it wasn't even like a hard, you know, thing. It was just like, understand this is a movie, don't. And I did, and so I, you know, I didn't fucking do anything stupid. Or that was, yeah, we always watched movies. It was always like grab a bite to eat or something and come back and watch a movie. Or because we had the video store, we're always going to, you know, to that video store. And that's the dude, Randy. It was Randy's video store, some Japanese dude, and he got to know us, and he knew, you know, through him, like I said, I think I mentioned on the other podcast, he would be like, oh, there's new Godzilla from, and that's, he would get it because he knew me, like, so he was always getting stuff, the new shit, and stuff like that. So we were always there. And then
this is this boy John who lives around the corner.
And then eventually, when my aunt remarried to the, you know, my uncle now, when they met, he was like a manager at Blockbuster. So then we had an in at Blockbuster, and we were always there. And what happened was there was a dude that worked there. I think he had some sort of, I don't remember if it was an autism. I think it was some sort of Down syndrome. But the dude, if he had told me he had watched every movie on that shelf, I would have believed him. Because there was times where like when we'd be talking, he like, my dad we'd take a movie. He's like, oh, this is a really good movie, blah blah blah. And we'd like, it got to a point where we'd ask him like, hey, what should we watch? If there was nothing that came out, he's like, oh, you should watch this. And it was, he just fucking knew his shit, dude. Like, he was born, like, that was like he was the fucking oracle of that Blockbuster, dude.
That's fucking crazy.
He was fucking cool as fuck. And then even like later on in life, like when I was in my 20s, like Sundays, it was just movies with my dad. We'd go eat and then fucking go watch a movie, like some sort of new release. And if there was nothing big out, we'd just find something. So we'd end up watching all kinds of like random, like either foreign movies or just some fucking garbage ass movies and shit. But it was fun. Like, we ended up watching, like, it was, I don't know, movies has always been like a big, and I think a lot of it had to do with, because like I said, growing up, my aunt worked at Tower Records, so we would get free movies too from like the promotional stuff when they wanted to like push for awards, or like, oh, you know, you guys want to sell this movie, here's a copy of it. So we would always just get like free copies,
like the one that they would play on the fucking, like, for the,
no, these are screener copies. So these are like, if you put them on, it'll have like, oh, property of Warner Brothers scrolling across it.
That's what I meant.
The screener copies.
Yeah.
And they were just the straight movies, aside from, you know, that little
fucking thing that was like,
that would come up. But so I was just kind of always surrounded by movies. And then even the little bit when I was living in downtown for a couple years, they were always filming there. Like, there was fucking, well, even before that, dude, I remember when they were filming The Dark Knight Rises, I went there for a couple nights to watch them film and shit. And it was because he doesn't, I mean, not just him, but a lot of like, when they're doing movies, they'll use fake names for the movies, right? So for that one, they were using Magnus Rex. That was the name of the movie that they're filming. And so a lot of people there's this one chick standing in the corner, like directing traffic. And people were like, oh, what movie are they filming? And she's like, oh, it's this Magnus Rex. And she gave like some fucking random thing. And I had just been at that corner for like forever, right? And randomly some of these dudes came up and it's like, hey, what movie are you guys filming? And I don't know why she did, but she's like, ask him. He's been here forever. And like, he knows. And I'm like, and I looked at her and she's like, it was weird. Like, she just like, no, I'm like, oh, they're filming Batman. And they're like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." I go, "The Batmobile's down there," and because she fucking knew, dude. Because like, she must have seen me some of the other nights, but like, she was like, "Yeah, like, you're not coming back because of this bullshit. Like, you know what's fucking going on."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it was just one of those fucking moments where it was just like, that kind of killed it for me though too. Well, they didn't kill it. It was just the fact that it was filmed in downtown kind of killed it a little bit, but.
Well, I mean, they like for a lot of the fucking like big city like scenes, they ended up using downtown.
Well, and it sucks is like, oh, I know that building. That's not Gotham.
I recognize some of the fucking buildings too. I was just like, hey, this
Gotham.
Looks like downtown.
I've been there before. Yeah. But nah, it was fun and shit. As for music though, it's the same kind of principle, but it's more about, I don't know, dude, as long as it makes me feel something. And Metallica was like the first. Okay, I wouldn't say that they're the first. I think that they're the band that for whatever reason, I just keyed in on at the right time in terms of like my life and development. And because I had heard them before in the 90s. Like I remember in the 90s when the Black Album came out, it was always on the radio. And I was just like, I'm over it. I'm fucking tired of this song. I'm tired of these songs. I didn't give a fuck. And then, later on I got older. I'm like, I can't get enough of these fuckers. But I think it was just one of those where it was just like lyrics are a big thing for me too.
Right,
so it's
right,
like everything just kind of like those planets align for me.
And I can't, like, I've told other people before this, where like I do rap a disservice because I don't pay attention to the rap.
Oh, see, I have to listen to the lyrics.
I don't listen to the lyrics because, like, to me, like the voice of the singer or rapper or the artist is basically another instrument in this composition of music to me.
Well, that's any genre of music.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like it's just another instrument in this composition for me. That's why, like I would not be able to, like, I can listen to the instrumental version of like a certain song that has lyrics in it, and I would not be okay with it because it's missing that component of the vocals of the singer. But then, like, when it comes to like listening to the lyrics, I'm not really paying attention to the lyrics at all. I'm just listening to. I'm just like, yes, well, I'm hearing it and I'm singing along to it at times too. But like, as far as like listening to like what it's saying or actually paying attention to what it's saying, like, I'm not really, because it's like, to me, it's just like, I like how the voice sounds with the. You're
focusing on the technical of it.
Yeah,
you're the audiophile.
Yeah,
where, I'm not. I mean, I am to an degree, but it's more about the feeling for me.
Right.
That gets evoked, or hopefully gets evoked. That's why I'm not that's why I don't really do like death metal. Because I can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I don't, and even like I won't say it's just because I can't understand what they're saying, because there's a lot of like foreign songs, like Japanese songs, Korean songs, just songs from different countries that I fucking really enjoy. No fucking clue what they're saying, but there's like a rhythm to it. There's like but with like the death metal shit, I'm just like, if you're speaking English, I can't
you're
understand.
Not going to be able to understand it.
So there's no. There's no. It's just growling and screeching and screaming.
It's like the fucking the whole meme of like, your parents trying to understand. Something like, say, even not even like death metal, just hardcore, basically like just hardcore or something like that. Like they're not going to understand it. Or that fucking what you call it? What was it? That little skit or that bit in that 70s show where they Fed and his adoptive parents or his foster parents take a Kiss CD, they play it in reverse. And I'm like, it's like, dude, that's basically my parents, they like, that's what they hear,
Well, that was it. It's really fucking weird because like that was like kind of my mom too for a little bit. But she grew up with Metallica too. Like they listened to Metallica in high school. But, all of a sudden when I'm listening to it, like, oh, it's the devil music. I'm like, what the fuck? How does that make any sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I don't know. But yeah, they just hit. And I think for, at least in terms of them, it was more the lyrics than anything else. Cause like I enjoy Slayer and Anthrax and Pantera and Iron Maiden. It was just, I think it was just whatever the lyrics were. Because I mean, I like Slayer, but I can only hear about Nazis for so long. You know what I mean? Like, I just
it gets boring.
It really does. You know? And like Pantera, I mean, I'm down with Red Network Rock to an extent, but and then fuck Megadeth. Like, they have bangers, but I don't know. Mustaine is just kind of like
we talked about it in the other one. Oh, the disdain for Mustaine.
My only real complaint, and I think it's probably what took Maiden out of the edge of it, was their beat is too up tempo for me sometimes. Like it doesn't.
It's power metal, so
yeah, it is. You know what I mean? So it like, not that it doesn't match the lyrics, but like something like The Trooper, I love the fucking song, but like to me, like that could be a much darker song too. You know what I mean? Like it, like, but I guess that's.
Well, I mean, like you have Bruce Dickinson's vocals, which are very theatrical, very fucking like almost not necessarily operatic, but You get me? It has that sort of like sense of like very like not when you think about like how what you call it like say Metallica and how their voices are not really like they don't aim to sound like they're fucking playing in an opera or something like that in comparison to Bruce Dickinson. Like yeah, I completely understand.
Well, and you know what? It's not even that like I really enjoy it. It's just okay. I guess a good example would be like Number of the Beast. It starts off you're like, oh, this shit's like kind of satanic, and then like the actual song
like,
starts.
Woe to you, earth and sea, for the devil
like,
comes with.
And I'm like, it doesn't match. So like that tone shift, kind of like it's still a good song. I fucking love it.
I don't. It's not that I don't love it. I'm tired of that song.
No, I am too.
Yeah,
but it's just one of those where it's like it.
Another song too that's similar to that, 2 Minutes to Midnight.
Yes,
that has that very like fucking up, not necessarily uplifting, but it sounds very cheery for what the song should be.
I think the only reason that one doesn't bother me as much is because it still has. There's more of a there like it's power metal, but to me the metal part comes through a lot more in that song. Like it sounds a little bit more aggressive than some of their other songs. Like even that even song, on the chorus when they're like 6. No, I'm sorry. Fucking
the song is the song sounds more less power metal than the other songs.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Because there is different, for me at least, it feels like there's like tonal shifts in that song.
Yeah, definitely.
Them and AC/DC. AC/DC just makes me feel good. They're a fucking party band.
AC/DC is just basically hard rock, dude.
Yeah, they're a party band. They're like just fucking, grilling burgers outside, drinking beers. Like that's what they're.
It's like what you expect to hear in a dive bar, basically. Yeah. Like during that time frame or that era kind of thing. Speaking of AC/DC, have you heard of another Australian band called Airborne?
I don't believe I have.
Look it up.
Newer or older?
They're fairly new, dude.
Oh, really?
But not new, but like I'm talking like maybe like 2010, 12s maybe. Like
okay.
They're not AC/DC old. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's basically a carbon copy of that.
Really?
I feel like I'm not saying that they're better or anything of that sort than fucking AC/DC, but if you wanted something that basically sounds like AC/DC, but like the lyrics are a little bit more like modernized, I guess you could say.
So it's AC/DC light?
Yeah. I would fucking listen to them.
Well,
because I think like modernized in the sense where like it's kind of keeping up with the times. The times.
Yeah, it's an updated.
Yeah, it's an updated in that
21st century AC/DC.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I think that's what they have. They do have some songs that are a little bit more up tempo or more like the tempo is a little bit faster. But ultimately, it's what I would expect, like from AC/DC, basically.
So if AC/DC came out 10 years ago, this is what they would sound like. Was what you're saying, roughly?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Yeah,
because there is always this thing I've always heard where like AC/DC, if you just kind of strip them down, they're not like a great band. It's just power chords and shit like that, just very basic playing. It's more so fucking Angus Young and fucking
but I mean when you think about hard rock, that's what you think about.
I know, but because it's a presentation.
No,
because I've always heard that argument like Angus Young is not that great of a guitarist. It's just
what I'm trying to say is that like when you think of hard rock, AC/DC is what comes to mind.
Yeah,
you're not like, let's be real, like fucking Nickelback is hard rock, but
okay,
they're hard rock. Like
if you say so.
They're just more fucking mainstream shit. You get me? It's like they're trying to fucking they're literally just trying to make money out of it. I mean, that's the whole point of their like they're trying to fucking throw banger after banger so that everyone can consume it.
They're doing it right now though, aren't they? In like on a comeback tour or something?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's that's what Nickelback is, and so like comparing what AC/DC does in majority of the songs in their albums in comparison to what Nickelback does, it's like. Yeah, AC/DC has some songs that could sound kind of mainstream, like, like just basic, like, hard rock shit. But there are some other songs that are just like, okay, this is not.
No, yeah, I'm not taking anything away from them.
Yeah. So like, but I guess that's what I'm trying to say is like how iconic AC/DC is the fact that when someone mentions hard rock, I think AC/DC.
Yeah.
In the same way that if someone mentions metal, the first thing that comes to mind is essentially like the big four, or even just like if you go old school metal.
So you have to go something like Black Sabbath,
or even just like fucking what you call it? I mean fucking Iron Maiden, Judas Priest.
Yeah, like when someone says metal, I don't break it down to like the subgenres. When someone says metal, I'm thinking Sabbath, Maiden, Metallica, Slayer, all those fuckers. Dio. I'm not I'm not like, categorizing it. To me, that's just all metal. I know
Yeah.
it's not the same type of metal,
I mean,
but it's the same shit.
It's interesting how it kind of evolved
Yeah.
into like a bunch of subgenres, but I mean, ultimately, it's all over the same fucking, it's all under the
Yeah.
same fucking pyramid. It's all the same. It's all comes from the root of metal. I remember when I was in high school, how I would say is like, oh, I like metal, and then I would name Metallica or some sort of other like more mainstream band, and then you had these fuckers that were into like fucking death and
Cannibal Corpse,
or
and
all
these
this
other
other stuff. Is like, that's
Sepultura.
not metal. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Come off of
I
it.
was like, go fuck yourself. Cannibal
Yeah.
Corpse is listening to Metallica, so fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, how do you, like, a lot of these people, how do you think they learned English? Through fucking like Slayer and Metallica and all this other shit.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, come on, dude.
That's like what I kind of think about going back to like the whole fucking AC/DC shit. It's like that's what I see. Yeah, and surprisingly, I kind of want to put Motorhead under that too. Because even though Motorhead is very like fucking thrashy, it's still just kind of sounds like, more fucking
I would say
it's like a combination of both that sort of like hard rock and thrash.
I would say Black Sabbath obviously like kicked off metal.
Yeah.
I would say Motorhead kind of helped morphed it to what like metal became, of almost like that, fuck it, throw everything at the wall if it sounds good, just, you know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah,
it, like you said, it had that hard rock, but it had that thrash metal before fucking thrash metal.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It kind of like, this is what we're doing, you guys can fucking do it or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? It was like, it kind of just like gave everyone, I don't want to say permission, but like
A template to work with.
yeah, to work
Yeah.
with. Where like Sabbath, it's a very specific type of metal. It's the metal when you think of like, it's like, oh, it's the devil music, that, you know what I mean? Like, there's no, Sabbath is almost its own genre of metal at this point. I mean, you got fucking Deep Purple, and technically they were fucking added a little bit before fucking Sabbath.
Yeah, they're like
and they were like, the progenitors.
the progenitors of
fucking metal.
that sort of music and stuff
But you
like
don't.
that.
It doesn't come across it. That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy because like so like I think about like the music that was coming out at the time, like with fucking with the Beatles, the Monkees, etc., etc. I was very like kind of like that sort of like I don't even know how to say it because I don't want to say classic rock because it's not necessarily.
To me, that's like the origins of pop, bro. Like the Beatles, that's already getting into pop. At
I
least
know.
pop rock.
It's pop rock, exactly. But I mean, like that was kind of where it starts, right? Because
Yeah,
I mean,
like
the,
that's where you start getting like mainstream hits.
Yeah,
where,
yeah.
Fucking Billboard charts, top fucking 100
Yeah.
for like 6 weeks in a row. That's
then-
where you start getting that shit.
and then you start like, but I mean, obviously that's where like bands like fucking like Deep Purple come from too, because
Yeah.
like that was kind of like the inspiration, right? There's no way that that the Beatles didn't inspire them to fucking like or inspire some other band to fucking like even start a band in general.
You know what I think it is? I think the Beatles definitely help prove that your fame isn't restricted just to your country of origin.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Especially if you're non-American.
yeah,
Because like it's kind of like a given, if like you're an American artist, you're probably going to hit everywhere. But I'm not saying that Deep Purple isn't from America, but like fuckers like Sabbath and shit, where a factory town in England and shit, all of a sudden you're just a worldwide sensation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I
exactly.
think they were definitely instrumental in kind of helping that become a thing, where it's
Yeah.
like, and I think they did it right, where you build up that immense popularity. I think the Arctic Monkeys kind of ripped them off in their template. It would just get uber fucking popular in England and the UK and shit like that. Get all that buzz built. So by the time they were here, people were already like into them and hyped them, and fucking they just blew up even more so once they finally got here and shit. And they've just been, they took a hiatus for a while, but they came back better, at least for me. They came back different. Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah, they came back different. Arguably, I wouldn't say that it's the direction that I would have wanted them to take, but I mean, it brought them success. So clearly, it's working for them. Because like one of the things that I think about, so the first two albums were basically what I feel to be like the best stuff that they came out with.
Yeah.
It's very fucking very rock, almost borderline punk in a sense, like kind of edging into the
Yeah.
punk and stuff like that. It's very driving, very energetic. Even the soft songs as well are not really that like, but they're still pretty good. And then they kind of came up with like, what was it? Then 2 albums later, they kind of start slowing down. And I remember, I think it was an interview that I had seen or heard where they were just trying to break out in America,
Yeah.
and they couldn't because it's like the old stuff wasn't really hitting as much as they wanted it to. So they started slowing down. And then that's when they ultimately ended up catching their break. And then they release AM, and it's like that shit just fucking shoots them. It's like a fucking rocket for them, you know? And then comes out fucking what was it? Tranquility Base comes out, and I was surprised at how much people liked it.
I
Because
don't think I heard that one.
it's like, because they have another one out, another album that I was just like, this is oh no. Like I think if they kept whatever they were doing with AM, like if they kept or just kind of kept evolving from that, or but not take such a drastic step that they did from AM to Tranquility Base, like they could have milked it. You get me? But Tranquility Base was like a fucking weird like drift from their origins. When you listen to, like, if you were to listen to their first album and then now listen to Tranquility Base, you're like, what the fuck? And by all means, I'm not saying it's a bad album, because like it's well done. It's fucking well recorded. Like production value on that fucking album is amazing. And there's a couple of songs that like I still like. Admittedly, I fucking play them on repeat because they're really good songs. It's just not the energy that I was expecting from that from
the band.
From the band. The crazy thing is that I think the singer's name is Alex Turner.
I don't know.
I think, or he's had his own fucking personal projects that he's done, right? His personal stuff sounds a lot better than the stuff that he had come out with in recent times with Arctic Monkeys. And so then I'm kind of left in a position where like, okay, where did this energy or creative, vision go to? Because
Studios, maybe.
it could be. This is money, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
The big motivator.
because if you're saying like his solo shit, if it's not like, if he's not under a big contract and if he's more free to do his own shit, maybe that's the difference.
Yeah. We can go ahead and cut it over here. Guys, thank you so much for having a listen to.
Yeah, thanks for tolerating.
No, I think it was good. I think it was good.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Intro outro song is Wah Game Loop by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0, http://creativecommons.org/licenses/by/4.0/.